Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Left 4 Dead. So we did the first scenario, so No Mercy as a campaign. Now we'll jump over to Crash Course. Now Crash Course um, only has two things going on as far as chapters, so they're probably going to be a little bit longer. The real question I suppose to ask here is, do I even want to play the game on normal? Because playing No Mercy on normal led to me dying twice. And in single player, you being killed twice is different than you being knocked down in multiplayer and people then trying to revive you, which is more how it works. Even though that is a feature in single player, it doesn't seem like the AI is that smart. The AI also doesn't pick up any of the Molotovs or grenades in single player, so you are definitely getting a different experience. Um, if you were dying in multiplayer, you would probably just respawn in one of the respawn closets. On the other hand, there's an argument that there was no challenge there at all, so we should just play on advanced. But no, I think we'll play on easy. We're going that direction anyways because truth of the matter is, I've turned up the brightness of the game. I don't feel like there's a real benefit for having it as low as the default setting is. It doesn't add anything to this game at this point. It probably would have added to the horror aesthetic 13 years ago when it came out, certainly, but now the game really just looks like a Resident Evil 1 remake, or even at that point, a bad clone of the Resident Evil 1 remake. Which, if I ever get around to playing the Resident Evil 1 remake, that will also be a factor. Certainly, is just how the graphics can only be improved so much. We were randomly given Francis before, so we'll play as Bill this time and we'll just work our way down the list. So,
Guys, everyone, I want to say something. I hate helicopters.
For once, we're in complete agreement, Francis.
Well, boys, I guess we're walking.
so theoretically, I guess Mercy Hospital escape did go through that way. So this is, I suppose, the chronological story forward. I'm gonna try this gun, although I feel like really in single player in particular you're going to end up using the shotgun more than anything else. What we don't see here in any direction is the Mercy Hospital, nor do we really see a direction that we're going. So I guess we're just going in the general open air direction. We'll inevitably run into zombies. We're getting the same tutorials. I'm sure we'll get that. They've decided to go that way. Never really got a confirmation as far as whether or not shooting a teammate does anything. It actually hurts. Yet these guys are now on easy, kind of going down in one shot, which I think that probably does speed up the whole process and make some more sense.
Reloading!
This brings it feels like more to an action game, which is where I think this really would survive better. Of course, there is that problem here, where if you were... Where are they? Did we see the AI director got bored with us, or it had pre-scripted a...
Reloading.
It had pre-scripted a location in which I was going to trigger.
Weapon over here.
Okay. So like you're immediately at this point upgraded. Here. I need everybody to get these weapons.
Weapons here.
Like, does everybody have 2 guns? I have no idea. They don't magically get a second holster. So
Weapons here.
I guess I can bring them to the area, but I can't force them to drink. They don't wander around. A more modern game would definitely have the characters kind of wandering around more, looking for things instead of just kind of holding their position. Still really takes 2 shots, even with the double guns. But yeah, if each scenario is supposed to be a linear scenario of these survivors, kind of a Walking Dead experience, well, that feels like that is going to fail fairly miserably. We hear a bloated guy somewhere around here. I don't know which car, where would convince these guys to start attacking. There's like way too much of this going on here as far as things you can pick up and shoot. But oops, I did not intend to. That like scared the hunter, but it didn't blow him up. Yeah. Here we have a respawn closet.
Someone's gonna need these.
Here's some pills. The number of bullets you have basically force you to never have more than 30 enemies attack you at a time on single player. If you were playing with regular players, then yeah, you could multiply that by 4 players and say then as many as 4 times 30, 120 zombies could attack you. But even that is fairly questionable as far as like, would you really throw 120 or would you at most throw 60 because it takes 2 shots to kill everything anyways?
Reloading.
And yeah, you're not going to have a horror game with 4 players and a decent amount of
Reloading.
infinite ammo and either a shotgun or an automatic gun of some sort
Reloading.
available to you. That's just asking like too much, certainly. Yeah, that unlike BioShock where in BioShock, you basically start with a crowbar. Here we have some story. Although I don't know if these are people who actually worked on the game or if this is actual story that's going to be revealed later.
Pipe bomb over here.
Yep. And I can't take the pipe bomb. So the best thing I can do is something like that to then pick up the pipe bomb. Apparently that guy was coming from the ceiling, which that would be an interesting gameplay mechanic if that
Molotov.
had consistently been a mechanic. It is strange to say the least to move from a position where the first scenario we did may very well have been the first level of the game in any other game, but you're not really pushed more than just simple convenience reasons that you would have played
I'm reloading.
that.
Grenade.
Let's see. Just got another achievement.
Boomer! Got it!
Nice shot.
Molotov.
I'm reloading.
It would have probably been nice to simply have it be a linear game and have this really admit to itself that it is an action game first and foremost, because had they made these
Weapons here.
had they made those questions,
Watch your back. I hear
Weapons here.
right? Is this the better weapon? Which is the better weapon? I guess we'll try this sniper rifle, since that will be slightly interesting for a while, I suppose. I bet there's never really a scenario in single player where a sniper rifle is the right move. I mean, I could certainly try it here and then right stick here and see if we can headshot. Again, this is a mouse and keyboard game, and these guys are moving far enough and fast enough so that it's not likely that I would actually be able to hit everybody I would like to hit. Let's see, when we get back to this and you start to reload, that's a fairly slow reload. And while this is a fairly slow alleyway area, does everybody have pills? No. And you know for a fact Lewis doesn't have pills. So he should pick those up. We can just shoot the legs under things. And this guy decided to shoot me, and he's still up there. But he just ran away, so whatever. Alright. And we'll just unzoom fire. So we'll revive our teammate.
Thanks.
Would you please cover me?
So that was a scripted scenario.
Lewis, you gotta heal up, man.
Obviously. So let's go in here. Let's see if we can find
Pipe bomb.
something else. So do we want to stay outside and open in the air and relatively safe because of that? When really, you know, you could be attacked at the bigger characters at any point, or do you want to yeah, if you can even stay slightly far behind.
Got a weapon here. Reloading. Fire in the hole.
Let's just throw that. Yeah, we're kind of just seeing a lot of items on easy. And that probably is the case over here too. It probably is more of a scenario where we're finding more of these explosive barrels because of the fact that we are playing on easy.
Reloading.
We can hear and see some zombies.
Will you knock it off?
We could have come this way. Also, with another respawn closet.
Pipe bomb over here.
Let's throw that over that way. Well, that hit an area that seems to be
Weapon over here.
Over!
Fire in the hole. Molotov over here.
so the pipe bomb brought them over the wall. And that might have been a great example of when I shouldn't have shot, because I think I blew up the boomer and hurt my companions.
Reloading.
Yeah, it definitely hurts the idea of being a one-man army when you have 3 other people saving your butt at all times.
Got a weapon here.
And like the guns aren't different, so we kind of know that.
Watch your back. I hear a hunter.
Well, we kind of know that once you have 2 guns, you have everything. We could have come this way. And they're all pointing up that direction. But yeah, we can be, could have come this way,
Molotov.
or we could have jumped through the window. There's another corner for more zombies. These are the concepts I guess you need.
Grenade.
In the sense that you want a scenario where there's people working their way through the destroyed streets blocked off by crashed cars.
Ammo here.
The army. Fat lot of help they've been to us.
I suppose the helicopter guy that was flying the helicopter died in the crash.
Reloading.
Feels a little weird that they gave us bullets just in the middle of the road, but very well may be a case that this is a scenario where you don't actually get as many safe houses.
Reloading.
By modern standards, it's a fairly
Reloading.
fairly like standard run towards the enemy strategy. Alright. If we can find the witch. It should be glowing red. Alright, you guys cover me. That is not the witch.
Reloading.
Is that the witch? If it is, we're gonna have a whole bunch of the directors decided to throw more zombies at us. Why are you hiding, witch? Alright.
Reloading.
We can see her. So if I can get a headshot here and actually kill her, that not only would get me an achievement, but it would eliminate her as a risk. Question is, can I get the cursor?
That witch is mad as hell.
So even on easy, it's still not really worth it to try and startle the witch. I don't see any more zombies. It seems like you aren't able to use your regular gun, your main stronger gun when you're knocked down either.
Good time for a health kit.
Alright.
Okay, you know what? Who's a zombie? Zombie, zombie, zombie. Not a pilot. Who's a zombie, princess?
So yeah, these guys sound like as they're talking to each other, they are much more suited towards the idea of just immediately shooting the former humans and now zombies, and they're not gonna make any bones about it. So the hunting rifle is useless then.
Weapons here.
Shotgun's better in most scenarios. That's pretty much all she was protecting, was another cache of weapons, which honestly I could have just run back, I think, a little bit, and we would have been able to reach the previous
Ammo
cache.
here.
I guess we have full ammo. So a headshot alone, even on easy, is not enough to kill a witch, we now know. So we have to assume
Cross the river on that bridge.
that the strategy is to have multiple people, the strategy must be to have multiple people do damage to the witch at the same time. You'd probably need 2 or 3 people ready with a headshot.
Reloading.
The zombies are taking forever to fall down, and they're spinning a lot of animation frames to depict them
Molotov
falling
over
down.
here.
Where are they mostly coming from? This way? They really like to just come out of nowhere. We're not gonna jump in the water with the zombies. This house seems to just be a barrier. There doesn't seem to be a way in it. It's incredibly dark, though. Like, you would think you'd be able to walk through here and see more than just your tiny flashlight on the side of the house.
Reloading.
Now we've got a scenario with zombies hiding in the trees, which is
Pills
slightly
here.
different concept.
You might need these.
I hear a witch. Shut up your flashlight. They'll see it.
It's so strange that the witch would be concerned with the light when none of the other zombies seem to be concerned with the light. You would make a lot of sense for the game to instead have the character from a very far distance have very big eyes. That would and you can kind of see that, but you have to stay so far away from them anyways. Who's shooting at me? Where's the witch?
Nice shot.
Well, yeah. And you would think that they probably should have programmed the game to not let AI startle the witch, when that easily could be a game over scenario. Like, that's the only, like, real, you have a high chance of dying on the easier difficulties is if you get overrun by the witch alone. Even the bruiser character is not that much of a threat that he guarantees a potential loss, or nearly guarantees a potential loss. We obviously have been able to handle her a couple of times, maybe without me actually helping at all. Never any zombies or civilians to save that would be hiding in the corner. Always, I think it probably is safer to stay in smaller areas. Let's see.
Fire in the hole.
Interesting. That didn't attract anybody. I wish that had been a pipe bomb. I guess you can't get under a truck, which that would be a very logical way to handle a lot of this, is simply hide under a truck, because they'd be too stupid to figure out how to get to reach you, and you could just shoot them in the legs.
Reloading.
Or if they bent down their head, then you shoot them in the head. Where's that boomer? Must have been behind this bus. Notice the bus door doesn't open. Can't get on and put yourself in a potentially dangerous situation.
Let's get back up over here.
It definitely feels like in this scenario there have been sections coordinated off or quarantined off. How you would get gates like that if they didn't pre-exist installed is questionable. Let's see, we're gonna be firing a cannon.
We need to shoot down that barricade. Ammo here.
And that's gonna start a fight. So we should be ready for a fight. Which probably means put one there. And probably means put one about there.
Somebody fire the goddamn cannon.
What else can we find? See, you can see this is a half-constructed area once again. And from this direction, we'll probably have some zombies crawling up in much more of a large number than would probably be reasonable.
Weapons here.
We could switch to an automatic gun.
Someone needs to fire that big ass gun.
This'll do some damage.
Yeah, I think this probably is your best gun. Just because of the way things are set up.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
There is probably a scenario where you would run into a lot more of the regular zombies, so having more bullets would make more sense.
Is somebody gonna fire that gun?
Alright. And we should go and just, I guess, look at the barricade first. Just to show what it looks like and before they destroy it all. What's incoming? Almost certainly there's an achievement for trying to use this to kill enough zombies. I lost the explosives though. And this thing takes forever to overheat. Just trying to see if I could burn some characters over there. I placed it in the wrong place. Seems to me like the fire is going to be fairly long burning in that area.
Good shot.
Reloading.
Ammo here.
We might as well reload and fill up our ammo. I don't have a health kit, but I'm probably fine. The only thing that could be a fairly big twist here is if it turned into I can't even get into the dumb area, so I can't take them even if I wanted to.
Lewis.
It's like I'm crouched down. I just can't reach it from that area, so maybe you have to come in this way to get it.
Someone's gonna need
Let's see. Does anybody else have? Is anybody else short on pills? No. Let's make sure we're standing, because it's often very easy to be confused as to whether you're crouching down or standing. And there probably should be a heads-up display always in those scenarios when that's an option.
Reloading.
There's very little that can happen here. We can get a lot of people to attack us. We could get a bruiser to attack us. Or the third potential option is that we would run into like a hunter and a smoker,
Speak up, Francis.
or a
Your
hunter
voice got
and a
all muffled
boomer.
from your head being so far up your ass.
You can see that there's a decent number of zombies down that way.
Reloading.
And it's fairly hard to see what to shoot at. So I'm generally trying to shoot at anything that looks like it might be moving.
Reloading.
I guess I didn't have the flashlight on, so that one's on me. I guess there was a zombie standing back on the backside of that. Although, really the indicator came off more as I took damage because I fell than it felt like I had taken damage because of an actual zombie attacking me. You'd imagine in a more adventure action game you would take parts out of some of these photocopiers or something and make pipe bombs out of them.
Reloading.
This game is still very dark.
Hunter.
I'd like to believe it's a fantasy to believe this, certainly, but it would be nice to believe that part of the reason why this game was even easy on normal is because I've over the years gotten better at first person shooters. There we go.
Reloading. Reloading.
Let's go smack them just to see if there's an achievement there.
Get your ass up here.
Okay, I think I can get you up. Just hang on one more second.
I wonder if you would always grab a ledge if you're about to fall off. That would feel more like a multiplayer contrivance, certainly, to make it so that somebody couldn't just accidentally fall off a ledge and that ends 1/4 of your team.
Outstanding.
So I got way better score in general defense. Okay. And we have
We should check out that truck depot.
more writing on the screen. Certainly.
I owe you.
We're really gonna heal up now before we even get to this. I kind of feel like there might be a trick here where if I was to, for instance, just heal now, that I might increase the odds of me finding another first aid kit later. But I'm not 100% certain on that. And we are definitely having a longer per run experience here. There was literally only one checkpoint, and we are now in the next one sanctuary point. Now we are in the next chapter, and that took 40 minutes, so yeah, we're gonna have to end this recording here. These kinds of messages are particularly dangerous because they need to be dated for them to have any relevancy at all. Otherwise, people are going to just assume that this is accurate when this could have been written weeks or months ago. And honestly, in this zombie apocalypse, it comes off as like the zombie apocalypse barely happened 2 weeks ago, and it's already massively decimated or destroyed all of society. Notice that the door looking out is now different than the door you actually use, so that it doesn't have to load or show any of the graphics. It would be fairly easy, even in Source Engine 1, to have made a stationary static image that you could look through there.
Let's do it.
But yeah, we're seeing army outposts crossed off on this map already. CETA, I don't know what CETA stands for. The Center for Environmental Disaster Assistance or something, like a FEMA clone. That's the organization, the Federal Emergency Medical Assistance. So yeah, we'll end this recording here, and we'll start back up in the next episode here, obviously. Playing this game with the brightness turned up and on easy does feel like a better experience than trying to play it on normal or any harder difficulty, I'm sure. And taking it out of the realm of actually being scary or actually being challenging, I think smooths over a lot of issues, certainly. But there still are missing gameplay mechanics because this was a multiplayer game first, and they just crammed basically a single player option into it. And storyline is still incredibly weak. The gameplay mechanics are incredibly weak. The level design is still fairly linear. The AI director 13 years down the road is not that interesting or good of an AI. The number of enemies is fairly small as far as the mutants, which does kind of highlight a potential problem for Back 4 Blood, because I don't think there were more than 6 or 7 mutant enemies in Back 4 Blood also, which is, of course, the spiritual successor that's coming out for Left 4 Dead. So, unless they commit to adding more AIs and more mutant enemies, which they're calling trolls in Back 4 Blood, the game, I think, will feel fairly rote also. It still may feel fairly rote, even if they did have 12 or even 25 custom enemies that would pop up. There is a difficult balance they're going to have to try and make between having too many mutant trolls attacking this game has far too many of the mutants showing up, whereas the regular zombies in this game are kind of pointless cannon fodder, and I would hope to see that Back 4 Blood has better groupings or ideas to do with that. It would be really interesting if there was a group of a single zombie that turns out to be very smart, very fast, or very strong, and he just looks like a bunch of the other zombies, but he kind of hunts on his own, kind of like the hunter, but more in line with the movement of the regular zombies. It would be interesting if there were potentially groups of 3 zombies that attack different than massive hordes of zombies. It might change up the game a lot if zombies did different things. You see that even in this game, where they have the zombies sometimes fight with each other and sometimes vomit. Those are good ideas, but they're not ideas that connect to any kind of gameplay mechanic. 2 zombies fighting with each other don't allow me to get really close to them and walk right by them. They don't allow me to potentially shoot them in the head. They don't have seemingly half damage because they've been fighting with each other. It would be interesting to see if a zombie bit another zombie and somehow and turned into a mutant because of that. That would be a new risk, because then when you would see 2 zombies fighting each other, you would say, oh, I have to kill both of these before one wins, because if one bites the other zombie, it becomes a super threat. Or you could have it where the zombies, when they vomit, spawn other zombies, or they create a place where you can slip, or they create a toxic gas that can damage you a little. Those would be movement mechanics or AI mechanics or just gameplay mechanics that would make a lot of sense and change up the game. But unfortunately, Left 4 Dead doesn't have any of that, so we're left with what it does have, and I am going to have to struggle to not go on to long rambling monologues like this one. Otherwise, this game is going to take a lot longer to finish. So with that, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.